Lots of pumpkins, glowing candles, and cozy corners. Fall has found its way into my home, my friends. If you love decorating for the season as much as I do, please grab something warm to sip and let's create a little autumn magic together.
Welcome back, sweet friends, or welcome if it is your first day here. My name is Victoria. I'm so delighted to decorate for fall with you. So grab your favorite drink, whatever suits your fancy this fall. I personally am a pumpkin girl. It smells like pumpkins in my home and spices and all the things fall. I did have to turn my AC down. Pretty cold, I will confess, because I live in Florida. There is no fall changing leaves outside and there's no cool air. It is hot. It has been raining so much this summer and everything is green, lush, beautiful, but in my yard, very overgrown. But we're not gonna talk about that today. We're gonna go room by room today, starting at the front of our home from the foyer to the living room to the dining room, ending over in the kitchen. Be sure to stay all the way to the end because I'm going to give you the full house tour of our main common open concept living space in our home here in Florida. Again, thank you for being here. If you love what you see today, please consider hitting that subscribe button so we can hang out each week. And as I've already shared, something very exciting is coming starting next week. Get comfy, let's go decorate.
So our foyer is the very first thing that people see when they step into our home. So I always love making it feel warm and inviting for the season. This fall, I kept things pretty simple, but I also wanted to be thoughtful. So I added this beautiful wooden candle. I love the gold foil inside. It glows so soft and fills the space with the coziest autumn scent as soon as you walk in the door. I had to pair it with the little acorns with a touch of sparkle and a whimsical hello sign, which adds a charming seasonal note right at the front door as well. I also added a gorgeous glass vase with the burgundy florals to bring in those rich, earthy tones that instantly feel like fall. And finally, I almost always include a lamp in every room, you guys. Lighting sets the mood in any space. It adds warmth, dimension, texture, and that cozy glow that makes even my small entry feel intentional and layered. So I think we're done. Even with just a few pieces, the foyer feels seasonal and perfectly ready to bring in the fall season.
Just a few touches and the foyer is ready to welcome guests into our home this fall season. Now we're going to move on to the living room where we probably spend, maybe not the most time as a family. I would say my husband and I spend the most time together over there. Grown children, teenagers, they don't want to hang out with us. But I want to go make that space beautiful and cozy for us. So let's decorate the living room.
This wall sconce is honestly one of my favorite pieces in our entire house. And this year, I just perched a happy little glitter pumpkin on him. Believe it or not, you guys, I think I found that guy a few years ago at the dollar store. It's a small touch, but it adds just the right bit of playful fall sparkle. Let's move on to the bookshelves. Styling bookshelves, you guys, can feel very challenging, even to me as an interior designer, but it's also one of the most fun areas to decorate because you can really layer in your personality. So on the bottom shelf, I kept our everyday pictures and my favorite interior design books. Then I simply placed a velvety green pumpkin right on top. Beside it, one of my favorite bowls filled with pine cones, which instantly makes the space feel festive for the fall. On the next shelf, I kept another everyday detail, one of my favorite family photos from our very first fall trip to Lake Lure, North Carolina. And then I just layered in pumpkins and fall leaves and a little acorn under the glass cloche. This is such an easy way to transition your everyday pieces into fall without having to start from scratch, which can honestly feel overwhelming. Moving up, you'll see more books paired with another pumpkin. And instead of letting the clock sit by itself, I use it as a bookend, which adds both function and a little bit of charm. I also tucked that mountain print in the back. It reminds me of Lake Lure, and it brings a subtle seasonal mood without being too obvious. And in my everyday nubby ceramic vase, I just simply added layers of dried leaves, bringing in the warmth of the season in a way that feels natural and also timeless. And all of these little details carry beautifully all the way through Thanksgiving until it's time for us to decorate for Christmas, which I know it's only fall, but I can't wait for that. So whether you're styling a vignette or a full bookshelf, my best advice to you guys is to take your time. Play with the textures and layers and give yourself grace. Sometimes it's the simplest swaps that make the biggest seasonal impact. It's also helpful to take photos. You can kind of sit back and look at them and rearrange. Sometimes we don't really see with our eyes until we actually take a picture of something. But let's move on over to the left side of the bookshelf. On the top shelf, I used one of my favorite wooden bowls filled with pine cones. It's such a simple touch, you guys, but it really ties back to the bottom shelf on the right, where I also used a bowl of pine cones. They're not the same, but repeating that idea really helps create balance on your bookshelf. Beside it is a ceramic vase filled with berries, which add just the right pop of seasonal color and the texture. Moving down, I styled this shelf with sculptural candlesticks. Even without the candles, they add such a great form and texture, and the warm brown tone also echoes the season. Then I layered in everyday family photo of the children, a few decorative books, and 2 pumpkins, but in different textures. So one of them is ceramic and one is plastic. And mixing those materials like that, it keeps the look eclectic and interesting instead of being just flat. On the next shelf, I love blending old and new things together. A clean line frame and stacked books. It becomes the base for my harvest pedestal, which holds a pumpkin on a bed of moss. Moss makes the perfect natural anchor for seasonal pieces. On the other side, a knitted pumpkin sits next to a vintage gold metal box, which I filled with leaves and stems. I just thought that was a great opportunity to add the pumpkin and all the seasonal yummy things. It feels collected, but it still also feels very fresh. And on the bottom shelf, I brought in the texture of the season with a set of stacked baskets. To finish it off, I used this beautiful bud vase collection, just tucking in little snippets of the fall with dried florals, feathers, and natural textures. It's such a fun way to showcase the season in little small doses. Altogether, this side of the bookshelf feels layered and cozy, with that mix of texture, the old and the new, and everyday pieces that make seasonal styling feel natural and intentional. Now let's move on to probably my favorite part of this wall, the mantle. I started by adding a few simple eye hooks into the wood of our mantle. Don't worry, you'll never see the holes even once the season is over and everything comes down. But the hooks really make it so easy to create those layers that stay in place. I also use flower wire and zip ties, and it allows you to go layer upon layer, and again, everything just kind of stays put all season. The first layer is this stunning brown leaf garland. The texture feels so rich and natural, and then I tucked in some pine cones throughout to add even more depth and dimension for the season. I used mustard and deep green. the warm browns and the light beige, colors that honestly instantly capture the richness of the fall season. Mixing those heights, the metals, and tones keeps the whole display eclectic, but it also feels intentional. On the coffee table, I really kept most of my everyday pieces, but I always love adding a seasonal candle. For me, honestly, fall means candlelight in every single room, you guys. And my little candle snuffer sits right next to it since it gets used so often this time of year. Switching out the pillows is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to give your living room a completely new feel. You can keep your inserts and just swap out the covers for fall colors and textures. In the middle corner of the couch, I started with a large linen pillow in chocolate brown florals, and then I layered in a rich green velvet, a dotted pillow, and finished with a cozy furry one in front. On the other side, I used a deep amber velvet pillow, a soft cotton pillow, and a green lumbar. In mixing pillow sizes and those textures, it really keeps the eclectic but still pulled together look. In the opposite corner, I repeated the amber velvet pillow for balance, and then I added a tassel cotton pillow and another velvet dotted one. And of course, no fall sofa is complete without a cozy throw. So I chose this deep green velvety blanket that adds both color and softness to the space. Finally, I always love having fresh flowers. This season, I kept it simple by filling a vase with one type of stem. They're tiny, delicate blooms that make a really big impact when you group them together. So sometimes keeping it consistent is just as powerful as mixing it up. With a candle on the coffee table, layers of seasonal pillows, the cozy blanket, and a vase of fresh florals, all the beautiful textures of old and new, candlelight, votives, leaves, pumpkins. I think we literally have every feeling of fall in this living room. It feels collected, there's tons of texture and layers, so we're ready to celebrate fall in the living room.
Now that we've cozied up the living room, let's move on to the sitting area, which is part of the dining room, but it's a place where we don't actually eat together. You can just cozy up with a good fall drink and your favorite book. Let's go.
One of the easiest ways, you guys, to refresh any space in your home for the season is by swapping out simple details. On the buffet, I changed my summer lampshade for this deep navy textured one. Navy, I feel like it's such a beautiful color for the fall. It adds depth, it feels cozy, and it will transition perfectly all the way through the spring. Next on the buffet, I added this paper pumpkin in the richest shade of orange. It's lightweight and whimsical, but the accordion folds give it so much texture. Beside it, in the center of the console, I used this round mercury glass tray with gold edging to really anchor a little vignette. Trays, you guys, I'll tell you over and over, they're one of my favorite styling tools. They ground and group things, making it feel very intentional. So on the tray, I added a vintage-inspired glass pedestal filled with pumpkins and leaves in all different textures, plus a gold candlestick with a navy taper candle for that warm glow for the fall. Of course, I had to add my favorite family photo of the children when they were younger with their pumpkins from one of our fall trips to Lake Lure, and that really adds the personal, collected feel. And the beautiful glass in the front ties in the vase that I also have on the buffet. So there's pumpkins and all the yummy things on the vignette. Over on the left side of the buffet, I styled this tall glass vase just like I did in the foyer, but I did it in a different way. Rather than flowers, I placed a deep orange pillar candle inside. The fresh flowers tie in the navy from this vase, also to the lampshade and the candle, while the books next to it really give it that eclectic, relaxed layer feel. At the end of the console, a large gold metal taper candle holder sits so beautifully. Here's a little design tip for you guys. Moss, it not only keeps the candles upright, but also it catches the dripping wax. So just adding a little bit of moss at the bottom of your candlesticks when you place them in your holders, you're gonna see they don't go anywhere, and it helps protect your furniture, which is amazing. On the cozy reading chair nearby, I switched out my pillows for a mix of textures. I added a silky leaf print pillow with tassels, the chocolatey brown velvet, so yummy for the season. We have to have a furry pillow and a nubby one, and mixing all those textures is what makes the space feel layered and inviting. I also tucked a pumpkin-scented candle into my hurricane vase filled with pine cones and acorns, which brings in both the scent and the texture of the season. And of course, no cozy corner is complete without a basket of blankets. This little sitting area feels so warm, it's layered and seasonal. I can't wait to snuggle up with my favorite book, and I think it's proof that by changing just a few details, you can completely refresh a space for fall.
Now that we've done the sitting area in the dining room, let's move on to the actual dining room where we gather around the table.
I love decorating with pieces that feel unique and timeless. And a lot of the things you've seen today, as well as a few of the ones you'll see here on my dining room table, are from the Enchanted Fall collection, which I'll be sure to link for you in case you'd like to explore them for your own home. And my hope today, I hope you guys are having so much fun. I know I am. But I really want these ideas to inspire you to mix special finds with pieces you already have, so any part of your home can feel personal and cozy and ready for the season. But let's talk about the table. This year, I decided to layer two table runners, a longer one and a shorter one, mixing a floral pattern on the bottom and then a stripe on top. It's a really simple design trick that adds interest and texture to your table and something you can easily try on your own at home. I also switched out the pillows on the head chairs to bring in the golden yellow tone that ties it all together. And for the centerpiece, I used one of my favorite pieces. I know I keep saying that all day. This is my favorite. But this one probably is. It means a lot to me, this wooden box that my dad and I made together. It's just so special, and every season I switch it out. For the fall, I filled it with colored glass in warm seasonal tones. I mixed my taper candle holders of all different sizes and shapes, all the different heights, along with some old bottles that we found on a trip to Lake Lure. I filled them with fresh florals to start the season, and then added a few bud vases too, with even more flowers, because, well, I mean, you just have to have flowers. But later on, when those blooms fade, I can easily swap them out for dried stems to carry me through all the way through the season. And of course, no fall table is complete without, you guessed it, candlelight. I tucked in several votives to give the whole centerpiece a really soft and cozy glow. And to keep everything balanced, I actually decided to choose a dark olive green candlestick. Unlike the living room mantle where I played with lots of colors, here I kept the candles cohesive, just really so that the glass and the florals could really be the showstoppers and really shine. The result is eclectic, but it's very intentional, layered with cozy textures of candlelight and the personal touch of the box that we made. And the table feels warm and welcoming for the season. Okay, friends, we're closing things out in the kitchen, and I want to start in my favorite little corner, my coffee spot or my coffee station. I am a huge coffee lover, and honestly, when I wake up, well, I don't always want to be awake. So having something fun and festive right here makes my heart so happy. And here's my encouragement for you. Don't just decorate for when guests come over. Make little corners and vignettes in your home special just for you, for yourself, for your family. Whether it's coffee, hot tea, or hot chocolate, let it be something that brings you joy every single day. For fall, I anchored this cloche with my moss, my favorite little trick, and tucked a glass iridescent pumpkin inside. It's layered right on top of my cutting board with my everyday pieces, so it feels festive without actually losing its functionality. On my open shelves, I styled them layer by layer. On the bottom shelf, I placed a handmade silver metal piece on the back wall, almost like a piece of art instead of using it as a tray. Then I added my iridescent acorn pot filled with a faux fern because, well, I love real plants. Sometimes faux is the best choice in a kitchen where you want greenery that will always look fresh. And on the second shelf, I used a wooden pumpkin cutting board really in the same way as the art in the background. My everyday bowls became seasonal once I filled them with this acorn garland. I love the glitter on it and the mercury glass. It's just so beautiful and really kind of elevates the shelf and spills out just a little bit, adding that playful touch. And of course, bringing life into the space. Now this plant is real, but I love the old vintage bucket. Just simply putting a plant in, spilling out, brings life to the shelves. And on the top shelf, I used my gold pitcher, which is there every day, but then I just put seasonal stems and added my little chipmunk candle holder, just for that whimsical detail that honestly just makes me smile. Even the doorway got a touch of fall. While this door isn't directly into the kitchen, you can see it from the kitchen. So I just wanted to share that I hung a grass wall basket and I filled it with these beautiful leaf stems of orange. And of course, we can't forget the sink. It can't be forgotten because you're there so much, at least I am. I gathered my soap and sponges, my scrub brush onto this round wooden pedestal. And then I added my tiny bud vase of flowers. It makes something you use every day feel intentional and pretty. On the counter next to it is a large nubby ceramic bowl. This piece, it really becomes the centerpiece, filled with taper candles, leaves, the twigs, pine cones, and berries. It's one of those gorgeous statements that could be used really in any space. Right now, I'm loving it, the warmth of it right here on my kitchen counter, but I have a feeling this little guy is gonna move to the piano.
I had to share with you guys some of my favorite things that I cannot wait to use this season on the table. So this is not necessarily something that I decorate with, well, napkins can be, but I just love these beautiful plaid napkins with the colors of the season, the brown and the orange. It's so yummy. And of course, give thanks. Cranberry sauce will definitely be going on this guy at Thanksgiving. And this I actually use every day, the butter dish, which needs to be added. Hold on, that didn't make sense. Which clearly needs more butter. Isn't he the cutest? I just love it. And I'm ending with my favorites. These little turkeys are so stinking adorable. To make your guests feel super special, how cute. So I cannot wait to decorate the Thanksgiving table. We won't be doing that together because, again, something new is coming up, but be sure to follow our social media, Free Spirit Designs, Free Spirit Bundle, because we will definitely be doing some decorating together. And we've also been plugging in a few more YouTube shorts, so check those out too. That's it, my friends. I hope you are inspired from our home to yours today. It was so much fun to hang out, and I can't wait to continue. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that we can hang out next week. I love you guys so much. I'm incredibly grateful that you're here, and I want to encourage you as you head into this holiday, what can be sometimes a crazy season, don't forget to be thankful. Every day, find something that you can be thankful for, because there is so much in this world, in this life, just to be breathing, to have a home, to even decorate. So think about that as you bring out your pumpkins in all the festivities this year. I also want to put a little plug that a lot of these items, so many of these items in my home, I actually have for sale. I have a small business, Free Spirit Bundle. It's a home decor subscription box that gets delivered straight to your door. And a lot of these things right now are in what I call build your own bundle. We have the Enchanted Fall Collection, beautiful things as hopefully you saw today. So don't hesitate to go over to my website, freespiritbundle.com. I'll be sure to link that for you. Thank you so much again for being here. I want to just do one more walkthrough so that you can be inspired in your home. Thank you guys so much again for being here today. Let's go do a little fall house tour of all things decorated.
guys, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you felt cozy and inspired and maybe even picked up a few new ideas for your own fall decorating. And remember, if you spotted anything that you loved, many of those pieces are in my Enchanted Fall collection, so you can bring a little of that same magic into your own home. I'll be sure to link it for you, and I've really just truly missed being here with you guys, and I'm so glad to be back. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a little love and make sure you're subscribed, because next week I'm going to be sharing something completely different, something we've been quietly working on behind the scenes, and I cannot wait, you guys, to finally let you in on the secret. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments, so let me know which fall detail or decorating idea today inspired you the most. Until then, from my cozy corner to yours, take care, stay inspired, and I'll see you next week.